Welcome to this first activity. If you take a look at the activity, it simply says we will introduce you to basic economic concepts while exploring data from ETFs that represent different economic sectors in the Canadian economy. So the activity aims to help you understand how various sectors contribute to the overall economic health of Canada. So all of these steps are just there to help you understand the concepts, and once you get to this point, it simply means you will be able to do this. So what you will submit, you will print, you'll create a Word document, insert the charts you will generate, add your explanation and add your discussion, and then that you will print and bring it along with you in class. However, we are also going to have a discussion about this in class to really make sure you fully understand it. Now, what are we talking about? So the first thing, you will download the data from here. We are going to do it together in a few seconds. You need to understand the data. By the way, what do we mean by economic sectors? These are different parts of the economy, like the real estate sector, technology sector, finance, banking and finance sector. They all play a role in Canada's economic well-being. Now we are going to be using ETFs for each of those sectors. What does it mean? ETFs are like baskets of stocks from companies in a specific sector. When you invest in an ETF, you are investing in the success of that sector. So if you read all of this, it's going to tell you what does it mean when we say a sector is doing well. If the charts are going up, it's doing well. If it's going down, it's not doing well. So read this just to have an understanding, and then you'll be able to do this with no problems. So the first thing we have to do together, I'm going to copy this link, and once I copy it, I'll take it to any browser and paste it. So I'll paste it there and hit enter, and it's going to take us to a website I created. In the past, extracting the data, cleaning it, and so on was a pain. So I created this website so that you'll have your data. Now, by the end of this semester, you would have explored the majority of these data sets. It really helps you understand the health of the Canadian economy. But today, we are interested in economic sectors. So if you simply click here, you'll be able to have the data. There is nothing you have to do except click download. In class, I'll show you how this website works. It's pretty easy to read, but I don't want this video to be very long. So just click download, and it should download your data into your download folder. Okay, mine has been downloaded. I can see it here. So I'm just going to click here to get my data. You go to your download folder and get the data from it. So I'll click here to open the data. Once you get to your download data, open your folder. I'll say done convert. What I want to do, if you take a look here, you'll find that at times you may not clearly see what is there. It just means the data set in this column is asking for more space. So I'll click between A and B and just open it. Okay, so that we can see what's there. I can do the same here. Now, before we go on, there are certain things I want to get rid of, certain things, or I can just leave it. It really doesn't matter. So I'll just leave it like that, and we will pivot this. If we try to plot it as it is, it's going to be a pain. So we will pivot the data, and then we will take it from there. So right now, just make sure you click anywhere inside, go to your insert folder, click, and on your left, you'll find pivot table. So click on pivot table and do nothing here. Don't mess with what is here, because generally, when you click inside of this table and you click on pivot table, it automatically chooses the right thing. So now I'll just say OK. When I do OK, it's going to open a new worksheet, and here I have my pivot table fields. What do I want to do? I want to take sector. Click on sector, drag it, and drop it where you have values. Now it's going to say count of, no, actually sectors, sorry. Click and drag it and put it where you have columns, okay? The sectors should be where you have columns. Here you can see all the different sectors. The next thing you want to do is to go and take the closing price. Click on close, drag it and drop it where you have values, okay? Now we don't want the sum, we want the average. So click on top of sum, click on value field settings. Now it's going to open a dialog box, take average, go to number format, click on number format. Okay, now take number, the default is 2, go to OK, and then OK. Looks beautiful. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to take date and you drag it and put it where you have rows. Once you do that, you are good to go. So you have sector, you have the average of the closing price, and you have all of that. Now we want to get rid of certain things. For example, uncheck date, uncheck quarter, and let's leave the rest as it is. So you can see the performance of the different sectors based on years. What if we want to see the performance based on the months of each year? So if you click, for example, here, you can see the different months of that year, okay? But we'll leave it as it is now. Now we want to add a chart. Let's go to Pivot Table Analyze. Make sure you click there. Go to Pivot Chart. You want to take a line chart and you want to OK. Now, depending on the size of your screen, I'm going to increase all of this. And once I've done that, I want to send this thing under this chart. So for that, make sure this chart is active and you can go to design. Now, if you click out of that chart, you will not see this design. So always make sure this is active. Then you can go to design. Now on your left, you'll see add chart element. Under add chart element, you look for legend and you go to the bottom. You can place your legend at the bottom. Now, if this doesn't work for you because your screen is not large enough, if it's making your chart look nasty, just leave the legend there. Okay, leave it to the right. Now, the next thing you want to do is to put a title for your chart. Make sure the chart is active. Go to design, go to add chart element, look for chart title, put it above. And once you do that, come here and give an appropriate title. You can also make it bold. Okay. Now let's move on. So you can see that what you have here is really on a yearly basis. You can make some adjustments. You can, if you click, for example, here, you'll see that it's going to adjust it. It's not, so you can just click and open all of them. And it will give you a fine-grained behavior. Okay, if you click there, you will see the monthly averages by year. So it may take a bit of time, but you'll see everything and it's going to be a piece of beauty. Now, if you wanted to see the daily fluctuations, we could have used date, but we'll just leave it as it is. So you can see what's going on. You can clearly see a sector taking off from around 2015. If you put your cursor here, you can see it's the consumer staple. It seems to be the sector that is doing really great. If you come here, you can see healthcare is the next one. And if you look right here, you can see telecommunications. It's not doing that well. Well, it was always low relative to the other. Okay, it's still doing well, but relative to the other, it's not comparable, and so on. Real estate, not necessarily doing great. Yeah, everything is really, when you compare it to others, you may say it's not doing great. because the others are just exploding. This is just exploding. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to just grab this chart and put it on your Word document. And the best way to do that is to print screen. So I'm going to hit print screen on my keyboard, and depending on the settings of your computer, I can just grab it directly. Now, if you cannot grab it directly, it's no problem. Use another way to take it to your Word document. So I'll come here, I'll just open a blank Word document, and I'll just paste the print screen thing there. And if I want, I can do some cleaning of it. If I double click here, let me just adjust this. So if I double click on this, I can come and crop it. So you can learn how to manipulate it to make it look the way you want. So I have so this is it for the first instruction. It says the line charts you have created for each economic sector. We have just provided the line chart for each economic sector. We have it there. So the next thing you want to do is, here it says you should provide an explanation of what each chart reveals about the performance of the sector. So just say what you see. Okay, there's no interpretation here. What do you see for each sector? And finally, what does that mean? It says how the performance of different sectors can affect Canada's economy and well-being of its citizens. So what does that mean for the well-being of Canadians? When a sector is just doing so well, what does it mean? And when a sector is not doing that well relative to the others, what does it mean? So that's all we are talking about now. I don't expect you to be experts, given that this is just this is your first go at it. Just give your best to be able to generate something, say some blah, blah, blah. And in class, we are going to go over it, but I expect you to have your Word document with all of this printed with you next class, and you will be rewarded. Okay? Have fun and see you in class.